Hello everybody, Scotia here. I just want to do a different video today than the ones I've been normally doing on this channel. It'll be kind of similar to the Street Fighter 6 video I did the other week. Kind of more rambly, just me and a microphone, no script. So sorry in advance if this sounds different or weirder than usual. I just want to talk about a game that I've not really talked about on this channel. Yeah, it's a game kind of off this channel I'd be very interested in. And it's the King of Fighters 15. And I've only kind of mentioned it a couple times in the intros to the King of Fighters What Happened in videos, where I'm kind of like, now that the King of Fighters 15's been revealed, we'll go into the series. And it's a game, I don't really know why I've not talked about it as much on this channel. It's a game I'm very excited for. It's probably my most anticipated game of the year at this point. And I have tried a couple times to do some reaction videos for it, but I think it was for the reveal trailer and the Chris trailer. But I didn't go through with both for a couple of reasons. Mainly one being both leaked ahead of timeline. I saw them, so the surprise was ruined about what they were going to look like. And the other was that I'm just not used to doing reaction videos, so when I started to do one, it just felt weird, and I didn't feel comfortable uploading it. And, yeah, it just wasn't something that I felt sounded natural or anything like that. So maybe if I practice them more, I can eventually end up doing one. But yeah, it's not something I'm really built to do, I guess. But I do want to talk about the game, and I do want to talk about Chris in particular, because believe it or not, Chris is actually one of my favourite King of Fighters characters. And there's a couple of reasons why he's one of my favourites. One being his design. I actually really like his design. Ever since I first played King of Fighters, which would have been King of Fighters 98, would have been my first game. I've always just liked the design. It's just one of those things where when you see a character, you'll know pretty quickly if you like the design or not. And I always just, that whole team really, the New Faces team, Shermie, Yashiro, and Chris. I really just all three. I just loved the designs for all three of them, but Chris in particular stood out. And then once I kind of looked into the story and found out the lore and all that, and found out the whole kind of truth behind Chris, because Chris is he's a very deceiving character, because you see him, and I mean you can see it in the trailer. He's a very, when you see Chris, he's very happy and smiley, and he's just a 14-year-old Swedish kid just pleased as punch to be there. But then you kind of look into the character a bit more, and you see that he's a very sadistic person. He enjoys beating up people. He enjoys inflicting pain. And then you look even further, and you realise that out of all the Hakushu, out of all the New Faces, he's the most evil. And it's such a good twist of this small kid is just the most fucked up one, and it's a part of him I really like. And the other reason is story-wise, I love that he becomes Orochi. It's such a twist that I just don't think most people would have seen coming. I mean, who knows? Obviously, I wasn't following the games back then. I would have been about one. I'd been about 1 year old when King of Fighters 97 came out. So who knows? Maybe people knew it was Chris back then. But yeah, that when I first found that out, that shocked me. That this kid is the one that becomes the big the big bad villain. So Chris is a character I've been very anticipating his trailer. I think it's kind of been obvious for a while now, ever since King of Fighters 14 first teased that we were gonna be seeing characters that had been dead for a while coming back to life. I think a lot of people assumed the New Faces were coming, and then when Yashiro got revealed, it was yeah, here we go, it's time. And I'm shocked that they did Chris last. I really thought they were going to do Shermie last, because Shermie is definitely the most popular of the three. I don't think anybody would debate that. And I would say Chris is probably the least popular of the three, which isn't a necessarily bad thing to say for Chris, because they're all extremely popular. All three are very beloved characters, but if you had to pick one that was the least popular, I think Chris would be the one that was the least popular. And it's a very decisive character. You either love Chris or you hate him, and I love him. But I was very excited to see this character, and I did try to do a reaction, but unfortunately, third reason why I didn't do the Chris trailer was because when these trailers release, these weekly trailers, they come out at about 3 AM for me in the UK. and I sometimes I stay up for them. Usually if I feel like it's going to be a character I'm interested in, or if I can tell by the silhouette it's going to be an interesting character, I'll try and stay up for it, or I'll like set an alarm for it. But for Chris, I mean, like when the silhouette dropped for Chris, everybody knew it was Chris, so I was very excited and I was going to do it. But I live in a house with other people, and it's that thing where it's like, you know, trying to do a like reaction video at 3 AM. It's a very like hush talking, you know. I try not to wake people up. It's just not worth it. So I didn't go through with it, unfortunately. But so I kind of just wanted to do this video to kind of make up for that, to kind of just give my thoughts on the character, what I think as a Chris fan, who's been a fan of Chris for a couple of years now. I'd say about 5 years, just as a give or take, from when I first played KOF98. Just what I think of him, what I think of his design, what I think of his character, how he looks. This isn't, I've said it before in a couple of videos, this isn't a gameplay channel. I'm not going to be talking about the tech or the frames or jumping CD. If you want to hear that stuff, there are plenty of other channels out there that will cover that stuff. You're not going to find it here. Sorry if you were looking for it and you want me to talk about his gameplay. I just don't care. You know, I'm much more interested in the characters and the story. This is a story-based channel first and foremost, so apologies if that's not what you're looking for. I'm sure you can find another channel out there that will cover the things you want to hear. So, with that out of the way, overall I'm very, very happy with how Chris turned out. I feel like there was a number of directions they could have gone in, and I'm very happy with the direction they went in. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping that Chris was going to get a significant redesign. There were so many people I saw on like Reddit, in forums and Twitter that were just like, oh, I think they should age up Chris, and like there was one comment on Reddit that had me dying laughing because it was just so dumb. And it was like this user on Reddit was like, oh, I think Chris is the least interesting out of all the new faces. They should age him up and give him a hoodie and jeans. Or like a hoodie and jeans. Wow, what an amazing, unique design. That's surely going to make Chris a beloved character. Like, fucking hell, people are fucking idiots. And that was just hilarious. And there were other like people were like, oh, they should age Chris up, and it's like, then to me, it's like, then you just don't want Chris. Then you just want somebody else who plays like Chris, because Chris is a very strong character, you know, gameplay wise. I think the only game he hasn't been top tier in was 97, I think, and I think a lot of people play Chris, but they hate the fact that they play Chris because they hate Chris and they hate his design, which fuels me with joy that people have to play this character. Because I mean, I'll play Chris gladly. You know, I'm not great at fighting games, like playing wise and, you know, getting wins online and stuff. I'm awful, but like I'll play the character. You know, it suits me just fine that he's top tier and, you know, has a design and character I like. That suits me just fine. And so yeah. So I feel like I was worried they were going to kind of buckle to those people, kind of be like, okay, we'll change Chris, we'll get rid of the... But out of all the things I didn't want them to change, I didn't want them to get rid of the black undershirt that shows the shoulders. I don't know why, that's my favourite part of Chris's design. Like, I think it's so dumb, but like, I just love how it looks. And like, to me, like, it's like Yashiro's like heart choker. Like, if they got rid of that heart choker, like, I feel like that like takes away about like 90% of like Yashiro's uniqueness. Like, if they get rid of the heart choker for Yashiro, he's just a guy in a jacket. And with Chris, like, if they get rid of the black undershirt with the exposed shoulders, he's just a guy in a blue shirt. And I was very pleased they didn't get rid of that. So, but overall, this is the thing. I was talking to someone else about this on Discord. But normally, when it comes to like a character that is brought from 2D into 3D for the first time, I almost always prefer how they looked in 2D. Like, I almost always prefer the sprite design. Just, I don't know why, just like Alex from Street Fighter, like, I much prefer how he looks in Street Fighter 3 than he does in Street Fighter 5, but I think most people do, because he's pretty fucking ugly in that game. Other characters as well, I can't think of now at the moment. Sorry, I wish I had a complete list in my head ready, but I don't. But, you know, quite a few characters I prefer. Shermie is a character, you know. I think Shermie looks good in 15. I just prefer her old design. So yeah, so it's rare for me to like the new design more than the old design. and I actually like this new design more for Chris, which really shocks me. I was not expecting that. I'm pleased. I'm very happy that I like this new design. I was not expecting to like this new design as much as I do, to the point where I like it more than the old design. Because I looked back, I've played 98 since the trailer dropped. I played Chris just to mess around with him, and I've looked at his art renders from that game, from 98, and I kind of think the old design looks goofy now. It's weird. It's seeing this new design that's mostly the same. Obviously there are changes, but I don't know why it just feels like, looking at the old design, it just kind of feels so old and obsolete now. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, not just with Chris, but just with characters in general, where you see a character get a new design and you like the new design so much it kind of retroactively makes you not dislike, but makes you look at the old design kind of less. It's very interesting. It's not something that happens to me often, so it's kind of noteworthy to me that Chris's new design has made kind of look at the old design a bit more critically. But yeah, I've said it 5 times now, but I'm just very happy with how he turned out. It's a character I was very nervous about. I really wanted them to just keep him Chris, obviously modernize them, because I feel with Yashiro they definitely modernized Yashiro. They took his design and they just updated it to be, move it out of the 90s and just make it Yashiro, but just modern. And with Shermie, they just gave her a straight up redesign. She's not the same. Her outfit's different, completely, which is fine. I don't mind that they gave her a redesign, even if I don't like it as much as the old design. But I was kind of wondering where they'd go with Chris. I feel out of all of them, his was the one I felt they would change. So to see them kind of go the Yashiro route, where it's just modernized, I'm surprised, but I'm happy. And overall, I'm glad they didn't decide to go too extreme, because I feel with Chris, there were two groups of people that they were kind of that they could have gone towards. And the first group was the people that liked Chris already. They liked the character, they liked the design, they'd been a fan of him from the start. Not from the start, but from the start, and they were just fans of him in general. You didn't have to like him from the start. I didn't mean to imply that you had to have liked Chris from the beginning to be a fan. But you liked Chris, you liked the design already before 15. And then you had the other camp, which was, you didn't like Chris, you didn't like the design, you wanted him to be different, you wanted him to be older, you wanted him to wear something that you considered to be less goofy. And they could have gone in either direction. And personally speaking, I feel if you're going to go in any direction, I would go towards the direction to the people that already liked the character. Because if you change it so that the people who didn't like the character, if you aim towards them, then yeah, they're happy. But now you've got the people who liked the character, then they might not be happy now. If they changed Chris completely, I probably wouldn't have been happy, because I liked Chris, I liked the design. I didn't think it needed to be drastically changed. I don't think Chris needs to change. I don't think every character needs to be some 20-year-old, 19-20-year-old, badass with a leather, a leather jacket and shades. No dig against K-Dash, I love K-Dash. I realised while saying that I was explaining K-Dash. Not every character needs to be like that. We can have a 14-year-old in a game, and that can be fine. You may not like it, but someone else might. And I feel Chris is kind of, that character where it's what, we could have a kid in a game. He's not even a kid. 14's, I'm 25. So, anybody 4 years younger than me, probably. And below seems like a kid, but I suppose people think I'm a kid. Everybody's a kid to somebody, I guess. But I just feel we don't need every character to just be a 20-year-old badass. We can have a 14-year-old who is extremely outwardly energetic character, and that's we can have that. And if you don't like it, then cool. Not every character can be for you. Not every KOF character can be for me. Not every KOF character can cater to my tastes. That's fine. And I'm glad they went in the direction towards the people who liked the character already. I feel if you were going to go in any direction, you would go towards them, and I'm glad they did. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts about the character. I mostly just talked about his design because I feel like that was the key point. That was the key point that I was personally looking for. It's obviously too early to talk about story or character. Character-wise, I definitely feel like they've got him nailed down. His super's great. His climax level 3, whatever you want to call it, fits him so well. Like the whole energetic, in your face, laughing as he's beating you up. Like that's Chris to a T. Like I can't chef kiss enough at that. They I think SNK, they put out a press release with bios for all three, Team Orochi, Yashiro, Shermie, and Chris, and they described his character in there. I can't remember it word for word. I'll have it on the screen so you can read his bio. But I'm definitely happy with that. They still understand the character. They're not changing him to just be that energetic kid, but get rid of the sadistic side. They're still keeping that aspect to him, which I'm quite happy about. If that's one thing I will give SNK is that after all these years, they still get their characters. They still understand them. They still know what people like about them. Even if they don't use them for 20 years, because it's been 20 years since we last saw Shermie, Yashiro, and Chris. KF 2002 was their last appearance, and then, story-wise, the last appearance was even longer. That was 97. That was 24 years. So it's good that they still know why people like these characters, what these characters are about, what their personalities are like. They take the time, and I'm not implying that other fighting games don't do that. I think most fighting games do. I think some fighting games kind of forget that this character should be a bit more like this, or this character but it is what it is. But I'm glad that SNK knew what people liked about the New Faces team, knew what they liked about Yashiro, Shermie, and Chris, and they stuck to it, and I respect them for that. I think all three turned out great. I think all three are very pleasing to fans who've been waiting for them to come back. I feel like this is probably, this is just kind of like a knee-jerk, kind of off the top of my head take. I feel like this is probably one of the best attempts at bringing back, characters who have been missing from a game for 15 plus years. I really think this is one of the best attempts at here's characters you haven't seen in a while that you all love. Here you go, they're back. And I really do feel like it's one of the best attempts at that. And I do give props to SNK for nailing it. Obviously, we'll see what happens when the full game comes out. They might botch it. I don't think they will. I would hope not. I think the worst case scenario would be that they just die again. That would be so dumb. I honestly don't. I don't even think it's that much of a possibility, because it's just that stupid to just bring back these characters, to go to the lengths that they've gone. With Verse, to bring back these characters, to just be like, oh yeah, they're just gonna die again. I don't think they'll do that, because that would be so dumb. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't done these for the other characters. There's 14 other characters that were before Chris. I could have definitely done them for some characters, looking back on it, because I actually only had the idea to do this video pretty much today. That I didn't do a reaction to Chris, but I can still talk about him. I can still make a video about what I thought about him, and I could do it for the other characters. I probably won't bother, because I do there are other characters I do like that have been revealed, but not enough to kind of go out of my way to go back and be yeah, I like this character. I think basically, if you're curious, I think the only 3 characters that they revealed that I've really not been that impressed with have been Shunei, Terry, and King, for various reasons. I don't think anyone in this game looks bad. I think King is probably the worst, but she's not awful, but she could be better. And Terry, I think I'm disappointed that they went so basic with him, but I get why, because of Smash. But it's Terry's Terry. I'm really not going to lose any sleep over Terry not being exactly what I wanted. But I think everybody else has been fine. Yashiro and Shermie look great. Kyo looks great. Iori looks amazing. Chizuru being back is awesome. Very happy about that. So I don't know. I'm not going to do this for every character going forward, because there's going to be a lot of characters that I just don't care about. Especially some of the more staple characters, like the Art of Fighting team and the Psycho Soldier team and all them. I'm really not going. I'm not going to do it for every character. I'll do it for a character that I feel like I have enough to talk about. If I have something to say about a character, like I did for Chris, then I'll do a video about that, and like, this is what I think of the character, and I like what they did with them. Chances are I'll probably be more likely to do a video on a character that hasn't been in a game in a while. Like, for example, if they do Shingo, if Shingo comes back for this game, which I really hope he does, I'll definitely do a video just talking about what I think, you know, judging his trailer and what I think about it. I'll definitely do something like that. Other characters, you know, Ash, if Ash comes back, I'll probably do a trailer. I'll probably do a video on my thoughts about him. Other characters like that. I might do more King of Fighters 15 content, because it is a game I'm very interested in, and it's a game that, like, I do want to hear people's thoughts on it. What other people, like, what did people think of Chris, or Yashiro, or Kyo, or Andy? You know, I want to hear about what people thought, and I want to hear about what people expect or what people want for the game, you know, past this, like characters they want, teams they want. So yeah, just let me know in the comments, kind of like, your thoughts, obviously, what you think. I'm very interested. I'm always interested in hearing what people think. I've read all the comments on my Street Fighter 6 video. I do want to say about that, because a lot of people made a very valid point that I was very kind of like, the whole video I did, I was very much acting like this possible reboot going back to Alpha was like, it was a sure thing and it was happening. I recorded that video about 10 minutes after I finished Rose's story, so I was very like, that was as much of my like immediate thoughts as possible, and I was very like, it was very raw, kind of like, I hate this, I don't want this to be a thing. Like, by the end of that day when I recorded that, I was like, you know, we'll see. Now I'm just kind of like, if it happens, it happens, we'll just see how it goes. I still hate it, I still don't want it to happen, but I'm definitely not as like, oh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna be the worst thing ever. I'm just kind of like, you know, way too early to see. So yeah, I didn't reply to every comment. Some were a bit ruder than others, but that, you know, that's just YouTube for you. That's just people in general. But yeah, just, you know, I do enjoy hearing what people, you know, think, or what they think of what I say, if they disagree, if they agree. I'm interested in all that stuff, and let me know if you want me to do other content relating to King of Fighters 15. There's a couple of other videos I have in mind that I'd like to do, kind of like, you know, top 5 characters that should and shouldn't be in King of Fighters 15. That'll be a video I'd like to do, because I have a couple that I feel like people wouldn't expect, that I'd be interested to see what their thoughts on certain characters making it back would be. But just let me know what you think. You know, I'm always open to hearing stuff. I'm always open to getting suggestions of what people want to see on this channel. You know, as much as I make the channel and I make the content, you know, I do it all for you guys. I do it all so that people can enjoy it. So whatever you guys want, I'm open to doing, as long as, you know, I'm obviously, if I want to do it as well, you know, if it's something I'm not bothered about, then there's a very, you know, less likely chance of me doing it. But I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always open to hearing what people want to see and what people want to talk about. So yeah, that's the video. This has gone on far longer than I thought it would be. I'm almost at 25 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I apologise for my awful rambling. I say and and like a lot. I apologise. It's just how I talk. If I could change it, I would, but unfortunately I can't. So, or at least I could, but I would need to practice a lot more. And this is only my second video kind of doing this stuff. Let me know if you enjoy these types of videos, because I've noticed in a lot of my, I'm not a confident speaker. The fact I'm even doing this, I think if the me from 10 years ago saw me doing this now, talking for this long, uninterrupted, without any breaks or pauses, they wouldn't believe it, because I used to be a very, not bad, but I used to be a very nervous talker, used to stutter and, you know, stammer a lot. So it's always kind of like, I'm not the best talker, but I always try to, you know, do my best to make myself sound clear and concise. So hopefully I do. I know I have an accent. I mean, I don't really hear it because it's, you know, I've heard my voice my entire life, but hopefully, you know, my voice and how I talk and how I sound is, you know, enough for you guys to understand me. There's a couple of people who've made comments on my videos that have seemed like they're from Japan, and boy, I don't know how the fuck you I don't know how the fuck you know what I'm talking about, or how you're able to understand me, because yeah, I can imagine my voice is not, or my accent's not the best to understand sometimes, especially if you don't understand English. Hell, maybe if you do understand English, it might not be the best. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for watching. I'm very excited for Chris. I'm very excited for King of Fighters 15. I can't wait to see more of this game. Can't wait to cover more of this game. Hopefully we get more exciting reveals soon. I expect we're going to go back into a bit of a lull period for a while. You know, we're going to get a lot more of the staple teams out of the way, like our fighting teams like a Soldier, Ikari, K-Dash team. I expect more of those teams, and they're not bad teams. There are some great characters in those teams. Just, you know, you see them once, you see them 10 times, you see them 15 times. It gets old. You know, so I'm not like gonna jump on, oh shit, Rio, Robert, Athena, you know, Kensu. I'm not gonna be doing that. But for Chris, who it's like, oh shit, 19 years and he looks great, yeah, I'm gonna jump out my seat for that one. So see how it goes. I'll see what you guys say. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you again if you've still here 27 minutes into this absurdly long video. So I've said it 4 times now. This will hopefully be the last time. I shall see you later. Thank you again. Bye bye.
We await your return, warrior.